We have a Paslode cordless lithium ion 16 gauge finish nailer. Customer brought it in, said that the thing won't fire, says we worked on it about a year ago, and it seems like it always jams up at the wrong time or doesn't work at the wrong time, wants us to get it figured out. Looked in our records, we worked on it about a year and a half, almost 2 years ago, and all we did was remove a jam he had in the front. Doesn't look like we have any jams going on. Looks like there are a couple of nails left in it. Anyway, the first thing I like to check is the battery, make sure it's good. Now you can do that by either putting it in the charger and confirming that it's green, or you can plug it in and it will flash green on the indicator. If it's flashing red, you know the battery's not in good shape. You want to fully charge it or get a different one at that point. We also like to check the fuel cell. Now, fuel cell says best by the 25th of April 2023. Now, that's not good since it is November right now. A lot of times they will still work, but a lot of times the fuel quality will go down and they won't work as well if that fuel cartridge isn't good. Now, another thing, you want to confirm that your nails are the proper nails that you're putting in it. Looks like these are right. They slide right in. I mean, he's been using this thing for quite a while, so I would think he'd know what kind of nails go in it. Let's try to fire it a couple times. Now, as we push down, we hear the fan start to go, which is good. That means that the battery is good. It should be, as soon as this starts though, when it comes down, it releases that gas. And then when I pull the trigger, it should fire. Now you can almost hear when I pull the trigger each time the change in the fan tone because it's giving voltage to the trigger. Now you can hear that spark or that change. Listen. Furnace is off now, might be a little better. We can hear that spark. So what that means at this point is either the fuel cell is no good or it's not working properly. You can twist these off and you can take something and just kind of push on the end. Be careful, you don't want to be around anything flammable if that's the case. So it's getting good butane in it, or at least a good amount. His other one, let's see, best if used before the 5th of July 2022. This one is also bad. Now this one, being bad only a few months, when we originally tried to fire this thing fired 5 or 6 times and worked okay. Wouldn't fire again after that. Now let's try. So if you know you got the right nails in it, you know your battery's good, you want to get some good fuel. Make sure your fuel is not expired and there's plenty in it. So this is a brand new fuel cell here. We're going to throw it in. And all we're doing at this point, just a new cell. Now a lot of times I want you to take the battery out of these, you know, before you're messing with them. It is the safest way to do it. Now you can have it locked into the off position. You want to make sure that's pushed into on, obviously, but your green light won't come on unless that is the case. Now as soon as you pull the trigger or push in the front, the fan starts going. Let's try this again here now. So at this point it's fired every time. I fired quite a few shots. No issues whatsoever with the gun. Now what this tells me is that the customer, as many times happens, was just using trim fuel that was expired. This stuff does have an expiration date and it does go bad very often. Check that. Make sure that that is the reason that your gun's not firing. Now at this point, if you've got good fuel and you can kind of hear your spark in the top going, you can always pull the top here and check to make sure that everything's not all gummed up. Now after you pull that, this piece just kind of pulls towards the back. You've got a screen. Now if there's a bunch of black stuff in here and there's a bunch of debris or carbon or anything all around the inside of this, this may be a time where you're going to need to completely disassemble and clean this gun to get it back into operating shape. It's just like a combustion engine or something like that. Once it gets carboned up, it's not going to work properly. The carbon gets in the rings of the piston, and it doesn't seat to the cylinder walls properly. Won't give you the most compression, the most fire, the most power out of it if that's the case. Now, if that is the case, you will also see it here on the exhaust vents a lot of times. It's another telltale sign. There's all kinds of videos out there about these as far as the cleaning process goes. I'm not going to go into that at this moment. I just wanted to show you one of the very most common things that happens with these. Either people put the wrong nails in and they keep jamming up. They won't slide freely and stuff like that. Jam up in the front here. Now you should be able to, if you're pushing these nails through, well, if you put them in the right way, you're pushing the nails through and you're looking at the front and it's sprung, they should come all the way up to the top like such. Those should be able to spring back down. If they're not coming through, they're the wrong nails. Wrong pitch, that, or there's a jam somewhere. Hopefully that gives you a little bit of information on getting your Paslode fixed if you're having issues with it not firing. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe.